Daniel chapter 11. As for me, in the first year of Darius the Mede, I came forth to support and strengthen him. Early struggles between the Seleucids and Ptolemies. Now I should tell you the truth about these things. 3 more kings shall rise in Persia. Then a 4th will appear, who will be far richer than all of them. And when he has enhanced his power through his wealth, he will mobilize the entire empire against the kingdom of Greece. Then a powerful king shall arise, who will govern a vast empire and do whatever he pleases. But as his power continues to increase, his kingdom will be broken up and parceled out to the 4 winds of heaven. However, it will not be inherited by his descendants, nor will it be ruled in the same fashion, for his kingdom will be uprooted and passed to others rather than to his descendants. The king of the south shall grow strong, but one of the princes shall grow even stronger, and rule an empire greater than his. After some years, the 2 will enter into an alliance, and the daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north. However, he will not be able to retain her power, and his offspring will not endure. She will be handed over, along with her attendants and her child and her husband. Later on, a descendant from her line will arise to take her place. He shall penetrate the defenses of the king of the north, enter his stronghold, and succeed in conquering them. He will even carry away to Egypt the spoils of war, their god, and their molten images and precious vessels of silver and gold. For several years, he will refrain from attacking the king of the north. After that, the latter will invade the kingdom of the king of the south, but then return to his own country. However, his sons will prepare for war and assemble a great army that will sweep forth like a flood and advance as far as the enemy's fortress. The king of the south will then become enraged and set out to engage in battle with the king of the north. The latter will muster an immense army and will suffer a crushing defeat and be carried off. The heart of the king of the south shall be exalted, and he shall slaughter tens of thousands, but he shall not prevail. For the king of the north will once again raise another army, even larger than before, and finally, after some years, he will advance with a huge force and a great abundance of supplies. During those times, many will take up arms against the king of the south. However, those among your own people who are lawless will rebel in fulfillment of the vision, but they will fail. Then the king of the north will come and erect siege works and capture the well-fortified city. The army of the south will not be able to withstand him, and not even the elite forces will be strong enough to resist. The invader will do as he pleases, and no one will be able to withstand him. He will establish a stronghold in his glorious land, and it shall fall completely into his power. He will set his mind on conquering the entire kingdom and will make a treaty with the king of the south. Further, he will give him a daughter in marriage in order to overthrow the kingdom, but this will not succeed or be to his advantage. Next, he will focus his attention on the coastlands and capture many of them. But a commander will put a stop to this outrageous conduct and turn his insolence back upon him. He shall then turn back to the strongholds of his own land, but he will stumble and fall, never to be seen again. His successor shall send forth a tax collector throughout the glorious kingdom, but within a short time this king will also be overthrown and meet his end, although not in anger or in battle. Antiochus IV Epiphanes. His palace shall be taken by a despicable creature upon whom the royal insignia shall not be conferred. Rather, he will come forth without any warning and seize the kingdom through stealth and fraud. A powerful army shall be completely routed and crushed by him. Both it and the prince of the covenant will be destroyed. After he enters into an alliance, he will act deceitfully, and by treacherous means he will rise to power with only a few supporters. Without advance warning, he will invade the most prosperous provinces and do what his fathers or his grandfathers had never done, lavishing plunder, spoil, and riches among them. Yet, all the while devising plans against their strongholds, but only for a time. He shall rouse his strength and courage to lead a great army against the kingdom of the south. Meanwhile, the king of the south will wage war with a much greater and more powerful army, but he will not succeed because of the plots devised against him. Even those who shared his food will seek to destroy him. His army will be swept away, and many will be slain in battle. The two kings, their hearts bent on evil, though seated at the same table, will exchange lies, but they will not succeed, because the end will not take place until the appointed time. Then the king of the north will return to his land with great riches, but his heart will be set against the holy covenant. He will devise future plans to return to his own land. At the appointed time he shall return again to the south, but this time the outcome will not be as it was before. For ships of Kittim shall come against him, and he will lose heart and withdraw. As he retreats, he will vent his fury and direct his energy against the holy covenant. Oh my. And he will once again show his favor to those who forsake that holy covenant. Armed forces of his shall obey his command, and to desecrate the sanctuary, abolish the daily sacrifice, and install the abomination that causes desolation. He will seduce by his deceit those who break the covenant, but those people who are loyal to their God will stand firm and take action. Wise leaders of the nation shall instruct many, although for a time they will fall by the sword and fire and suffer captivity and exile. When they fall, they will receive a little help, but many will have ulterior motives in offering support. Some of the wise leaders will stumble, so that they may be tested, refined, and purified, until the end time, which is still appointed to come. The king will do as he pleases, exalting himself and considering himself to be greater than any god. He will utter monstrous blasphemies against the God of gods, and he will prosper until the period of divine wrath is completed. For what has been determined must be fulfilled. He shall have no regard for the gods of his ancestors, or for the God beloved by women, or for any other god, for he shall consider himself greater than all. Instead of these, he will honor the God of the fortresses, a God unknown to his ancestors. This God he shall honor with gold and silver, precious stones, and costly gifts. He will assign the people of a foreign god to defend the fortresses, and he will confer great honors on those whom he favors by appointing them as rulers over many people and distributing land to them as a reward. The end time. When the time comes for the end, the king of the south will prepare to attack the king of the north, but the latter will overwhelm him with chariots and cavalry and a large fleet. He will invade countries that sweep over them like a flood. He will invade the beautiful land, and many countries will fall, but Edom and Moab and the leaders of the Ammonites will escape from his power. He will extend his power over many countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape. He will seize control of the treasuries of gold and silver and all riches of Egypt, and the Libyans and Ethiopians will be subjected to him. However, reports from the east and the north shall be a cause of alarm to him, and he will set out in a great fury and bring ruin to and total destruction to many. He will pitch the tents of the royal pavilion between the sea and the beautiful holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end with no one to help him. The word of the Lord. Interestingly, in my nighttime readings, I'm studying Maccabees for the first time, and a lot of this in chapter 11 is fulfilled. So it's interesting seeing it predicted here, prophesied by Daniel. Stuff I've read about in the last couple of nights. Have a blessed day.